Hello, everyone. Today is day 12 of our 21 days of tapping on whatever you want to. And this one was about decluttering. And Vicky, I mean, it's funny. Facebook changes so much. I can't tag people now because if I tag it, it doesn't allow me to do the live video. I get it's probably a privacy thing. So I have to tag people afterwards if I can. So anyway, here's how I look at clutter. It's like, to me, I think you're insulating yourself on some level. That can be more bordering on hoarding, where you start to insulate yourself. I have clutter. I grew up in clutter. But it's also, to me, it's a sign of a like overactive mind, brain. There's so much going on. I know that's true for me. And to deal with clutter, I do know there's space that is created when you clean up clutter. And that's such a good thing. And the other thing I do know is to try to force yourself to clean up the clutter is not good energy to do it with. And you want to do it when you feel inspired to. And that can take time. And you can start, like, I think the Magical Art of Tidying Up, I think that was a book, she talked about get rid of things that don't set you on fire. I mean, like light you up. And that's not my bag for that. I mean, I get the point of it. And I do more like clothes I'll get rid of. I'm like, I haven't worn that in like a year or two. I'm going to get rid of it. Like the part of me that hangs on to stuff. I had so many books and I just got rid of tons of books because I think about, I'm ready to move this on. And other things, my daughter gave me a bag full of Lululemon jackets and all this stuff. And years ago, I did stuff on Poshmark, which can be fun. And I actually enjoyed it when I first started. But my husband knows a guy who goes to Mexico and takes clothes back to his village. So I called my daughter because we talked about doing it on Poshmark. And I'm like, I don't want to take the time to do that. She goes, Mom, I don't care what you do with it. Just give it away. And that felt so good to me. So when the gentleman came to pick them up, he was like, oh my God, the women in my village are just going to be overwhelmed. And so I like that idea. But I even think, if you really want to check it out, start with a drawer, start small. Because I think the problem for all of us is I'm going to take the whole day today and I'm going to clean up clutter. And then we get overwhelmed. But I'm just going to take a drawer. And I started doing that a drawer at a time here and there. And I like that. And then I have days where I'm so inspired and it feels so easy to do more clutter cleaning that I do it. So that's my monologue, and let's tap. Karate chop. Even though I have clutter, and I bet I tell myself a pretty negative story about my clutter. Like there's something wrong with me because I have it. I choose to acknowledge I feel this way now. Even though I have clutter. And I think I have a bad attitude about myself because of the clutter. What if I could see this differently? Even just a little bit now. Even though I have clutter in my life. And what if the first step is to make peace with the clutter? Go to the eyebrow. All this clutter. I really want to declutter my life. Maybe sometimes I push myself to do it. And I make it harder on myself. I put more pressure on myself. And I just want to accept that I have this part of me that beats up on myself because of the clutter. And what if I can give a gift to the part of me that has clutter? And that gift is acceptance. And what if the more I practice acceptance, over time, I actually become inspired to attend to the clutter without having it be a moral judgment about myself. I have clutter. What if right now that could just end up being, so what? I have clutter. So what? And even though that doesn't feel true right now, because I better have so much judgment of myself, what if I can practice that anyway? I've got clutter. And what if through this acceptance, in the right time, in the right way, the inspiration will come to me that makes it so much easier, actually even joyful, to clean up the clutter. And take a breath. I always go back to, it's the judgment of self that holds stuff in place. So that piece of, some of you know, and some of you, I started, I found this Amazon program to sell stuff on Amazon. And I started doing it. It's going to be 3 years ago this December. And I originally started it with, wanting to do it. It's called 3 Murphles with me and both my daughters. And then that just kind of went by the wayside. And I was literally ready, like the product had hit Amazon, and I was like, I didn't even know what I didn't know, even though I had this program, which some of you know the story. And so I have a shed out here that was filled with just under 1,000 units. They're little dryer sheet boxes, and I actually have one over here. So it says dryer sheets. It makes sense. The other side, it's this or that. So it could be anything. I don't even use dryer sheets, but they do these algorithms and you figure out something that's trending. But I was so ready to throw in the towel. Like I was crying on the Zoom call with this gal. And I mean, that shed was packed. And the weekend before last, I went in there. I'd been wanting to do it for days. I had a day I was going to do it, couldn't get to it. And I finally was like, no, I want to do it early enough in the morning because it still can get pretty hot during the day. It's finally really cooling off. And I just got so inspired, like truly inspired. And I went in there, I pulled everything out. I did an inventory. I reboxed, packaged stuff, taped it up, got it ready. So it's like ship ready. And I sent 70 units into Amazon. And then I still have, I think I'm down to like 440 units. It's amazing. It's been cut in half. But I had joy literally doing that day. I felt excited about it, enthusiastic about it. It felt great to me. The whole time I'm out there, I was noticing all the little synchronicities of, oh, this makes this easier. There was nothing heavy at all. It was truly like joyful for me to do it. And I felt so good when it was done, but I waited until I really felt the inspiration to do that. And that made a huge difference. And then that joy just carried over for days. And even the gal that I'm working with now in this, I told her, and she's like, oh my God, that's so exciting. And so that was a personal thing where I thought, no, that's a time I just kept waiting. Like I want to wait until I know I'm inspired. It's a big job. I think I was in that shed about 5 hours doing it, but it didn't feel like 5 hours. It didn't feel that way at all. And I actually enjoyed like unpacking, repacking, getting these things ready to pack, putting the number on the box, and now like so organized, so neat. It's way more organized than my house or my desk. And I was like, God, this feels so good, but it was purely out of inspiration. So I think just keep tapping through like the judgment of self about it. Like, what do you say to yourself every time you look at the clutter and you see it? If you notice the judgment, that's the perfect time to tap and just interrupt that pattern. You could even just go judging, and just notice that you're judging yourself. So hope you found this helpful. Vicki, I'll tag you on this and I'll download this and put this onto YouTube shortly. Bye for now. See you back here tomorrow on day 13.